And we're in. And you may notice something's different. Well, I recorded this episode and then some more of my audio got corrupted. Seems to only happen with Grounded, but I'll explain why. Simply put, I'm having a lot of personal problems, a lot of system errors, a lot's going on right now, but I'm still here to make content for all of you. So, this is going to be a shorter video, and I'm going to take this time to explain what happened that we missed. So, first off, we gathered a bunch of plant fiber. It's around. You can also chop down these... did I just crash? Nope, there we go. See, a lot of system errors. And we're in. And welcome back to Grounded. Now, you may notice some things are a little bit different, and that's because we had some audio issues. I'm having a lot of personal errors, a lot of personal problems, a lot's going on right now in the world of The Mechanist. But don't worry, it's getting resolved as we speak. Just gonna be a little bit off for probably this entire week's worth of uploads. So, we lost pretty much half an episode due to audio errors. I know, it happened on Grounded again. Luckily you didn't miss much. We mostly just gathered plant fiber. You know, those little things right there. Mostly just gathered a whole bunch of those. Explained how you can chop down these grass planks, or grass stems, whatever you call it, to get grass fiber. And we made this. This is a spinning wheel, which we need to make silk rope. Now, how we made that, if we bring up the recipe real quick. Where are you? It requires acorn tops, which we had, clay, which I will show you where I got it from, red ant parts, rope, sap, obviously. So, if we come over here real quick, again, sorry, errors come up, but don't worry, I'll cover myself. Right here, there's a piece of clay that spawned right here. And if you use a shovel on it, you can gather your clay. So, luckily, pretty straightforward, pretty close, and that's that. So with that, we made a spinning wheel, which is currently transforming our large supply of silk into string, or rope, or whatever it is, which we then are used to make our lovely insect axe, which I go in a little about in the rest of the video, don't worry. In addition to that, we made a jerky rack, which required bombardier parts. Turns out we had exactly enough to make that and our axe, and some rope. So again, more gathering. And I was wondering, jerky rack, does it work so as a drying rack? The answer is yes. We're currently turning this berry into jerky, which I will also explain later. Like I said, unfortunately, ended up losing half the episode, so it's going to be a bit of a shorter one. I do apologize. The errors are being resolved as we speak. I'm dealing with the issues as we speak. So, don't worry. You didn't miss much, mostly just going around gathering plant fiber and listening to me yammer to myself. Although I did also explain that after we get done with the hedge lab, we'll be turning this base into a tower and moving on to an actual base location. Where will that be? Make your guesses. But again, sorry about that. I don't know why it keeps happening with Grounded, but at least you didn't miss much. Just me talking to myself and gathering resources. So, yeah, now onto the part of the video that didn't get corrupted. Okay, we had an audio error. I do not know when it cut out, but we're back. Sorry about that. Been having a lot of issues on my end. Like I said at the beginning of the video, having some problems. I apologize, so I'll recap. We, just to be safe, don't know when the audio error hit. We have a spinning wheel making silk for our tool. We have a jerky rack, which we should be able to use to make berry leather, if that's still a thing. And we have a bow. We destroyed a ladybug just to prove that they are weak, and yeah, they are. And so now we're just waiting for the silk to be done so we can upgrade our tool. Again, I apologize about that. Having way too many issues and errors. Oh well, it happens from time to time. Can't do anything about that, but roll with the punches, as they say. So, 5 more... Technically, I think it's supposed to be minutes, but for us it's... Is that a second? Feels like a little bit longer than a second. But in case you're wondering, when we sleep, right now... Yes, time does speed up, but it actually does speed up. Now I'm saying, what does that mean? Well, let's just say in Minecraft, if you leave something in a smelter all night, it's not going to be done in the morning. But in Grounded, if you leave something working throughout the night, you actually get it back. It worked. It really does speed up time. So victory sip. Yummy. Victory meal. Alright, a little bit longer, and there we go. Okay, so now that we have everything that we need, we can get our insect axe, which means our faithful axe is no longer needed. You were supposed to go farther than that. Anyways, inventory, we have our... Where are you? There we go, our new insect axe. Which, I just gotta say, I like the idea behind the design, but not 100% sold on its actual effectiveness. And there's another ladybug. Okay, let me check my inventory. We have a little bit of food, might as well cook that up real quick. Just because our other food's probably going to spoil. Put some of our non-essentials up. Don't really need these. I'll sort the inventory later, don't worry, that's not a priority. So with this axe and with our bow, we can go collect some leather. And again, I don't know what got cut out of the audio, but basically, we can't collect leather from bugs. If you can get leather from bugs, I have a couple questions that I don't know if I want answered or not. Okay, so now we start our long trek once again, over to the hedge. Yeah, I would complete the hedge maze at the same time, but kind of want my upgraded hammer for a pretty important reason. But don't worry, I'm not going to subject you to this, so I will cut back when we're at the hedge. Be right back. And we're back. Sorry about that, but here we are back at the trowel. No, we're back at the hedge. Okay, and this is where we're going to get our mighty and powerful leather for crafting purposes. Yeah, you know what, don't question it. So you might be asking, okay, we're in the hedge. What are we going to be using for leather? Is there a bug out here? The answer is no. We're looking for flora, not fauna, to make our leather. You might be saying, what do you mean by that? Well, you know, say we will about games. Sometimes they have stuff that makes no sense. Sometimes they have things that make perfect sense. And sometimes there's a nice little in between. So you might be noticing something in the tops of the hedges. These wonderful little blue spheres. And I just realized I should not be doing this because I did not grab any dandelion tufts. Okay, we'll go back down to the bottom. There's a lot. Whoops. Okay, so as you can see, we have a ripe little blueberry right here. Or I guess it's just a berry. And this is how we're going to get leather. We need a strong axe, but boom, we got these chunks of berries, which can be eaten, but also if you dry it out, it becomes a leather-like substance, which is why they call it berry leather, which we will use to make a hammer. Now, luckily we don't need a lot of berry leather, but I think we will eventually, so I'm just going to get a couple. Yeah, they like to fall and roll around. They're little ripe berries. I'm just going to call them blueberries. Now, you might be asking, why did we create a bow? Well, that's because if you look up, as I mentioned earlier, you can see berries in the trees. Yes, there's a couple on the ground. They naturally fall, but luckily for us, if I were to equip this bow with an arrow and actually hit, it falls. Yeah, this is why we have a bow. Only this. This is its only purpose, so don't worry, I'm not hunting creatures, not using it to fight. I'm just using it to make collecting berries a little bit easier. That only gave 3. I feel ripped off. Alright, and boom. You gotta make sure it falls just right, and sometimes if a berry falls from high enough, it will actually perfectly splat, I like to call it. You know what, 15 is nice. Nice number. Now, I will once again do a little bit of cutting, and when we are back, I'll see if berry leather still works the same. So, now that that's done, time for me to walk back, and time for you to enjoy this quick cut. Be right back. And here we are back at home. Good old home base. Home ball? Baseball? I know it's called the baseball, but what should we call it? I'll tell you what we're going to call it. Temporary place of residence. So, if I remember correctly, okay, yeah, it still works. It's called a jerky station, but it's still basically a drying station. And for those of you who may know, or for those of you who may not know, if you leave something out that can become leather, you let it dry. That's how it becomes leather. Although, if I remember correctly, you can just craft leather. Maybe they took it out. Maybe this is the only way to get it now. Anyways, it used to be that you could just craft, let me just grab this water real quick. It used to be you could craft berry leather, but it took like 3 berry chunks to, dang it, I fell, to make 1 berry leather. Or you could put on a dry rack like I just did and it becomes 1-to-1. Kind of like spinning silk or rope. Because before you could also use that raw spider silk to make rope. It would be 3-to-1. Kind of a, dang it, I fell. Kind of a important resource. Kind of hard to get early on, but I mean, I guess not if you hit the web stacks like we did. But I guess now you just have to spin it, so I guess they probably did a little bit of alleviating here and there. In fact, I should probably put a few more of these on in the meantime. So yeah, this turns into leather, and with that leather, we can craft up our insect hammer. Now, what I like about some of these recipes, you can actually see the parts. For instance, I do not see the ladybug in this axe. I see the rope, kind of see the bombardier part, assuming that's the shaft, but is the ladybug supposed to be the teeth? But with the insect hammer, you can see the leather wrapped around, securing it, the stink bug is the handle, and the boiling gland, for whatever reason, is in the back. I don't get how that makes a stronger hammer, but whatever. So, I'm going to let this berry chunks turn into leather off camera. It's going to take a while. And when we're back, we'll make up the hammer and go explore the hedge and actually complete that little, obstacle, we'll say. So, I apologize about the audio error. If I have to, I'll dub over the parts, depending on how much I missed. Again, I'm sorry. It's a off week. Have a lot of personal problems to deal with. So, that's my bad. But don't worry. Next week, no gathering, no crafting. We're off to the hedge. For what, the 3rd time? Only this time, we're actually going to complete it. Which means a bunch of spiders, oh boy. But of course, our main goal in the hedge is, can we find the proper entrance this time? I hope so. Well, that was a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed playing. And if you did, please consider hitting the like button and impacting the subscribe button. It'll help out in the long run. With all that being said, this has been The Mechanist, logging off. Until next time.